Hi guys. So I did a request video the other day and I figured I'd answer the first question on there and we'll just get started with that. And yeah, so the question was, how did I react when I found out my son Trevor was diagnosed with Asperger's? What have I done to deal with it and things like that since then? And I guess if I have any advice. So that being said, Trevor was diagnosed when he was 4 years old, and I kind of knew something was going on since he was 6 months old. Really young. I remember asking the doctor all sorts of stuff when he was 6 months old already, and it just kept getting more and more and more until he was 4. So that leads to my first little bit of advice. If you as a mother it's getting bright. If you as a mother just feel there's something going on and your doctor is ignoring you and ignoring you and ignoring you, my suggestion would be just to get a second opinion, go to a different doctor. It doesn't hurt, and it is what it is. So I didn't do that, obviously, because my doctor kept saying, there's nothing going on, he's just an excited kid and this and that. And we ended up moving to Arizona. And the first doctor that I brought it up to here, brought up some of my concerns, instantly said, you know what, it kind of sounds like this may be Asperger's. We're going to go ahead and send you I'm giving you a referral, and you're going to go get him screened and this and that. So, 4 years old, went and got that done. And when I was told the official diagnosis, because what they said he's right on the border of being labeled either autistic or Asperger's, but he falls more on the side of Asperger's, which is what I expected. I really wasn't shocked. It was like no hiccup in my day at all, because for the past 3.5 years almost, I had been looking online, reading books, talking to people, asking questions, learning about it, and I pretty much knew that's what he had the whole time. And I was just dealing with it on my own, so a diagnosis really didn't make any difference to me, because it wasn't a shock to me at all. It was something that I had already kind of in my heart of hearts knew what was going on. So that being said, I remember calling my mom the first day and telling her what the doctor said, and I remember her reaction was unexpected to me. She apologized and said she felt so bad for us and it's going to be so hard and yada, yada, yada. And I remember thinking that was like a really big slap in the face to me almost, because in my mind, it's like, well, I've had him for 4 years now. He's the same kid. Nothing's changed, so why all of a sudden the apologies and I feel bad for it. I didn't like that. It really bothered me that she was like that, because it's like, well, nothing's changed. He's still the same kid, so why now? So my only suggestion, if a friend of yours, a family member of yours gets diagnosed, like their children get diagnosed, I would not be all apologetic and, I feel so bad for you. It's really kind of a slap in the face. At least it was for me. Everybody's different. I understand that. But for me, it's kind of a slap in the face. I got over it. Whatever. So he did get, one of the ups was he got more specialized therapies and stuff like that. So that's a good thing that came out of him getting an official diagnosis. But everything else pretty much stayed the same. I mean, we were kind of doing our own thing at home, and yeah, nothing really major different. So that was totally fine. And I remember calling my husband. He's like, oh, well, it's about time. It's about time someone did their job and listened. And, So that being said, yeah, we didn't really have any reaction to it. It was just kind of like we went in knowing, so we weren't surprised at all. The one thing that I can also suggest is when your child gets a little bit older, especially school-aged, it's really good to have a support system. Not every school is the same, but my particular school district, and here in Arizona, we are lower in schooling. I think that has a lot to do with it, but it's really hard to get him what he needs through the school district. as far as like his needs in school. Like in his classroom, he is very, very oversensitive to noises. And what the doctor had suggested was that he can be removed from the classroom and have quiet time or whatever to do certain things. Well, they won't approve that through the classroom. Just all sorts of little different things. He should have occupational therapy. We were having a really, really hard time getting that done. I got introduced to what an IEP is and all that kind of stuff. So, if you have a child that has any sort of diagnosis and is going into school, I would really suggest finding someone with similar needs as your family. They have support groups. You can look them up online. If you just start talking to people, you'd be surprised how many people are in your same shoes. Friends, relatives, etc. The online community is great for that kind of stuff. I found a lot of stuff from people on YouTube, and I just started asking them questions and got a lot of great advice that way. So that's one of my suggestions, is really open up and talk to people, especially when your child's going into school, because it does get a little bit more difficult. And I had problems figuring out, what am I supposed to do? You know? So, yeah. So I'm not sure if I answered your question, but that's kind of how it went for us. And like I said, I'm just me. It's totally different for every person. It may come to as more of a shock to another person as it did for me, but I consider myself pretty well read at that point on that issue, on Asperger's, and like it just really wasn't a shock. And like I said, I don't know how to explain it any different other than he's been the same kid for the past 4 years, so it really hasn't changed anything. We're just dealing with it and now knowing exactly what it is, which we pretty much already did in the beginning. So, yeah, that's kind of how it went with us, and things have been going really smoothly. We still have our hiccups and things that are new to us every day. A lot of things just come up and we're like, oh, we haven't dealt with that before, and then we tackle it head on. But really, if you're new to the diagnosis and you have an older child or even a younger child, it doesn't matter. Just find someone that you can connect with and just talk to. Because there are times where it's difficult. There are times where you get frustrated with certain things. And I can't relate to like my friend and her daughter, because her daughter doesn't have anything, and it's just like I think maybe she doesn't quite get what I'm talking about with certain things. So find someone that you can connect with on that level that's in similar shoes. So anyway, I hope I answered your question. If not, just message me again and I'll try to answer it better. But just be supportive, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.